I'm Lori from Lori's Country Cottage, and welcome to How Tuesday. Today I'm going to show you a continuation really from last week, but this time we're going to put two-color binding on odd corners like this on a 60-degree corner. Let me show you how it's done. So two-color binding, I've got a video on how to put together two-color binding, but just a quick reminder, this makes a 2.5-inch binding. You want to cut your outer strip, what is going to be the most of your binding, at 1 3/8 inches, and your binding that is going to be your piping at 1 5/8 inches. Sew them together with a 1/4-inch seam, fold, and you will create your binding with the small piping on it. Now we want to put this on our table runner, our table topper. And as I showed you last week, it has a 60-degree edge or a 60-degree corner. The 45-degree corner is what I show in the other two-color binding demo. This demo shows you how to do it at the corner. So you want to stop at a 1/4 inch from the edge of your piece, your quilt, and turn and back off. This is the same way as what you do on the regular 45-degree. Now, what you want to do is line your edge of your binding, your raw edge of your binding with the edge of your quilt so that it is 100% square. And then you come on, take a couple of stitches, back stitch the corner, and then you want to stitch to the next corner. So I'll show you at the next corner. I think I went too fast there. Now what you want to do is sew, make sure that you've got your edge, your raw edge of your binding with the raw edge of your quilt, nice and straight, so it makes the triangle, the fold that is for your corner. Again, you're going to back off, line it up straight with the edge, and be sure that you've got enough fabric in there to make sure you've got a nice fold on the corner, and your outer raw edge of your binding is right against the edge of the quilt. You stop a 1/4 inch from the end, back off your quilt, leave your needle down, and then you want to fold that so that your raw edge, and unfortunately you can't see the very edge of my quilt there, but the raw edge of your binding is with the raw edge of your quilt 100% straight with a nice fold. You want to be sure that your fold is even on your corner, and that will give you enough fabric to get around to the front. So I've got this cut to length, and now I need to sew these two pieces together. And the trick is going to be to try to get this to match on both sides. So the trick will be is I will mark on this side, the side I'm going to be sewing on. This is going to go on here like this. So I'll mark from this corner over at a 45-degree angle. So there's my 45. I lined that up. Put that right on the corner. And I'm going to make a mark across here. Now this is the point that I'm going to be worried about. So that now I know exactly where that needs to be on here. So I match my corners up. And I usually pin this quite well because it does move, because it's kind of awkward all in your quilt. And this
line ends up right at the corner. And now this point is where I want to be sure that I'm landing right in the right spot there. And so I'm just going to leave that pin in like that. Make sure it's straight through and pin that. And then I pin up to the corner. Now when I sew, it should end up right on. And you can see once I pull that tight, should be right on, and I can finish up my binding. As you can see, I've stitched that now, and I stitched it just on the outside of the line, just so that I'm just that little bit different. I want to trim this off, and then I will press it open, and there I've got my finished piece, and it has matched nicely. Got this at my ironing board. I've trimmed it, and I want to press it open. Some people will press it to one side. One side actually is a stronger seam because it's got the fabric to pull on, not just the threads, but I like it pressed to one side so that it just eliminates any bulk. And now I press it flat, and I'm ready to go. Now I'll take this to my machine, sew it on, and then pull it to the front and stitch down my 2-color binding. When I do the binding on these funny corners, I like to clip the corner a little bit just to get rid of some of that funny bulk that's in there. It just makes it a little bit easier to come around that corner nicely. So I want to pin it here, and I'll come back and I'll stitch this right in the ditch with a matching thread. And now I need to go the other way. And there is my nice corner. I hope you've enjoyed this. Well, I hope I have taught you something about getting around these odd 60-degree corners, how to make nice points in your binding, and how to do that with the 2-color binding and have no hand stitching and get your projects done. Thanks for watching. I'm Lori from Lori's Country Cottage. Bye for now.